right, welcome to episode 11 of the 605 Media and Entertainment Podcast. I am joined today with somebody that is more than just a salesman. He's an actor, he's a comedian, a mountain biker, an event planner, a professional mustache grower that puts mine to shame as much as I am ashamed to admit. Creative genius, Ben Schnaible, what else could you be?
Shoot, the sky's the limit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate you giving me a call and love to talk to you about whatever we got to talk about.
Awesome.
Today.
Well, I know you're involved in quite a bit in the Northern Hills area, so I'm a pretty cool personality. I think you're well known and well liked in this area, so I think people enjoy this podcast, getting to know you a little bit more, and hopefully we can showcase some stuff that people don't know about you or whatever that might be. But in your opinion, who is Ben Schnaible?
I'm a father of three. I grew up in the area in the Northern Hills. I grew up in Belfouche and, spent a lot of time over in Spearfish when I was younger. You know, the Belfouche is a great town, don't get me wrong, but the rurality of it kind of pushed me away over here to Spearfish, where it's a little more modern as far as, my friends and whatnot. So it was a pretty easy transition to come over to Spearfish when I moved over here. So, but what else am I? I love the outdoors. You know, we live in a perfect spot for that. We get to go out and hike and fish and bike and snowboard and ski or whatever you want to do. And it's super easy access, it's good and bad with that, but there's a lot of tourists that come around, and so if they're we can find our own trails. We have our own systems that we can get out and do our stuff and not have too much traffic around it. So
yeah, I always like to say that I'll be doing something, and people that are friends that are not from this place will say, well, where are you? Are you in Colorado or whatever? And I'll be like, nah, I'm in my backyard.
Yeah.
And I'll be on Crow Peak or whatever. And I mean, sometimes I'm in town,
and that's the beauty. You could be on any trail or anything if 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of communities, it might take you a half hour, 45 minutes to get anywhere to go do anything. So I like that.
But it's also not country. You know what I mean? It's, we are very, like you said, it's very modern. Like we try to kind of, I don't think we try, it just naturally happens, but we kind of replicate bigger cities like maybe Denver, Missoula, Minneapolis, and kind of bring those sort of lifestyles into more of this small town vibe, and it kind of just blends super well. That's what I love about Spearfish. So
right.
It sounds like you agree, which is super cool.
Belfouche is 10 miles away, but it's a world difference,
Yeah.
So, Spearfish does have a lot to offer as far as restaurants and, the community events that we do. It's a really tight-knit community we're a moderately sized town here in South Dakota. So it's kind of cool that we have a big group of community.
Yeah.
So. And
census is coming up too. So we'll get to see how much growth has come. But you're involved in quite a few things. I mean, for a job, you're at Auto Choice, and you're involved with Spread the Tunes, which puts on events, and some other stuff. Mountain bike racing we talked about as well. You're involved in some of that. I think we'll kind of just hit maybe some of these one at a time. But I think, you say Auto Choice, right, which is a car dealership. Think of, I guess, sales, but when I think of Auto Choice, I just think of you guys being really ahead of your time almost, maybe, or rather even just implementing other standard business marketing moves that car dealerships don't normally do and bringing them in. And I think that really stands out for you guys. And I know
that's kind of what the owner, Ron Sneesby, and the manager, Kevin Moore, they've been real hip to know that the internet really has played a bigger role in what everybody does with their consumer part of it, whether they're shopping for a Matchbox car or full-size SUV, whatever, they're online. So they've made it a point to have social media play a big part in what we do and how we get our word out to folks all over the place. We do a lot of fun giveaways. I don't know if you've watched some of the videos that we've put up every month.
I mean, that's exactly kind of what I'm referencing as well, is the actual content that you guys put out, to be in front of people's faces. Do you want to talk about some of those?
Yeah. Kevin and I, we sit down. He comes up with a giveaway for the month, whatever it is, whether it's we've given away portable jacuzzis. We've given away little Razor electric scooters, or we've given away bicycles, or whatever it is. What's that?
You gave away PS4, right? Or was it Nintendo Switch?
PS4 last month for April.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Let me know when that PS5 giveaway goes out. That's like $650. And I want it, but just kidding.
It'll come up. We'll see. But yeah, he'll kind of come up with an idea. He'll be like, hey, what are we going to give away this month? And then we'll kind of build a frame of reference of what we want to do with the content about that. He's really fun with the costumes that we get to put on and make up for these little videos or vignettes, if you will.
Yeah.
And so sometimes he has the idea of like, hey, you guys be doing Dumb and Dumber racing, something in the orange and blue tuxedos.
Okay.
And so we'll build it around that, and I'll come up with, I'll do a little bit of research, pull some things out of the movies that might, correlate to it and make it funnier. It's pretty fun.
So it's very collaborative there on the ideas. So it starts with the base idea, and then kind of all you guys are kind of bringing stuff to the table.
It's a lot of Kevin and I with the ideas of what's going on, and then I'll pull in the other guys, the other salesmen, to do their parts and bits. Sometimes like we did a karaoke machine giveaway, and so I got all dressed up in this disco outfit and big old afro and bell bottoms and platform shoes. And what did I sing? I was singing. What was that song? I had one of the secretary ladies come in, and it was just like a regular old karaoke scene where someone's not singing the best karaoke ever.
Yes.
And the other one, so yeah, I try to tell them, we're going to do this, you're going to do that, and this is what I'll say. And, kind of sometimes it's off the top of my head. And a lot of times, sometimes I do write out some stuff. Like we did a giveaway for a TV in, I believe it was March. Yes, it was March. We gave away a 50-inch TV. And so for some reason, Kevin wanted us to do Tropic Thunder, or the Michigan Tropics.
Okay.
From Semi-Pro. So I came up with a starting lineup for each one of the salesmen, and it was pretty funny. It followed the same kind of scene that he did for his the Tropics.
Man,
those guys are great, though.
Yeah, and so what is kind of I guess on your end, what is kind of the creative process? I mean, you already talked about you kind of have a base idea and then you kind of do research. Is there anything, are you ever coming up with ideas out of nowhere that you're able to just like bring in?
Sometimes, yeah, I guess. I like to think about it for the day, like what I would like people to think or hear, something to make them laugh, something to grab them, something to bring them in and pay attention for more than 30 seconds, and so with that, it's just kind of like I said, sometimes it's off the top of my head. I'll do a little bit of research, and whether it's some kind of accent or something I was doing. I remember I did we did a giveaway with I was a leprechaun dressed up as that, and I listened to people speaking in an Irish accent for the day, and that kind of helps me kind of figure that out. And, I don't know. I've always been into acting and whatnot when I was younger. Haven't done a lot of any productions since, other than, you know, the videos that we do for Auto Choice and whatnot. But
well, you did do the Chamber of Commerce. You played Mr. Schnaible?
Mr. Mr. Schnaible. It was a play on Mr. McFeely.
Yes, correct.
The mailman for.
Remember what Hans called you?
It was great. That was pretty fun. I got to plug my Auto Choice while I was up there. You know, and that was he asked me to do that because of my good friend Zach Eichsberger. That he's part of our Spread the Tunes. Was getting award Spirit of Spearfish Award.
Yeah.
And so it was a really cool opportunity to be a part of that. And that was fun.
Yeah, you guys were a loud table.
We got shushed.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. I mean, I think that's like, how do we put it? It's almost like a highlight. Like, I won't forget that. Right. Where it's like, which I love stuff like that too, because I always go to like the economic development meetings or like the chamber meetings, and I'm like the youngest dude there. And so it's just nice to like go to something like that and be like almost relatable in a way, or like, yes, like, you know, like it's kind of the party.
Those guys got shushed. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't feel
that would have
so
been me
alone.
and my boys if I had them all with me, you know. And that's kind of what it was too. It was, we had 2 tables full of Zach's friends there, and it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, that's funny. Did you do play or anything in high school then, or?
Yeah, I was in musicals and things like that.
Heck yeah.
I did, you know, when I was younger, my parents were youth group leaders and whatnot. So they always were involved with having little competitions or skits and things like that at different churches and things like that. So I got into, you know, playing parts and roles, and I've always been a goofy guy. You know, I like to do voices and things like that. For when I was a kid, you know, I'd run around acting like Tattoo from Fantasy Island or something, you know, just, hey, Buff, you know, the plane. And just, you know, so it's always been something that I've never been shy about, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, like charisma and personality like goes a long ways. And I think it's really cool that you're able to like, bump this microphone. It's really cool that you're able to implement like that plus like these creative ideas into like, you know, your job, you know, and I think that's super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything else about maybe working at Auto Choice that kind of separates you yourself as a car dealership / salesman compared to maybe like other dealerships and stuff like that?
Well, I think that my servitude in the service industry for the last, you know, better part of my life, I've been involved in working in restaurants and whatnot. Being up front with, I ended up becoming a bartender, you know, and so you're performing every day as a bartender. You're making people laugh. You're listening to their problems. You're doing, you know, you're so many roles, and you know, if you're not a good bartender, people don't want to go there. They don't want to go to that place. And I always had a ton of people that were at the bar happy to see me, and I made my job easier, made it funner, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that played a big part of, you know, what I do at Auto Choice is the group that I have there too. The guys are great. We've got a good, solid team of dudes that, you know, the car industry kind of has a stigma of, you know, a bunch of cutthroat dudes, you know, just, you know, you could, one guy would be talking to a customer on the phone, and then they just show up out of nowhere, and another guy could be on the lot and see those people and just steal them away. And, you know, it's called skating. Yeah. And then, you know, that just causes too much animosity and too much, I don't know, I wouldn't want to work at a place like that.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about the opportunity at Auto Choice here is we have really good cars to sell and good people that work there.
It's a lot more collaborative versus
we have each other's back.
Yeah.
We are competitive, don't get me wrong, but we have each other's back
in a more fair way. Is that kind of how you put that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say that, because we all want to succeed. We all want to make money. Mm-hmm. And, if we can help each other out to do so, then we all make more money.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
For sure. Do you think okay, I guess in my opinion, Auto Choice kind of sells cars a little bit differently than most dealerships do as well. Would you agree on that?
Absolutely.
I feel like you guys are a lot more like blunt and transparent. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to sell, but you're trying to sell as truthfully and as relatable.
Well, and that goes back to the internet thing, everything you can possibly search for is online. Mm-hmm. And you can find out information on anything. So in order for us to be atop of the heap, we have to be up for it, transparent. We got to let people know. We sell for volume, not for the gross. We want to make sure that everybody's making a good deal. Otherwise, when people are searching, like I've actually sold a vehicle to folks from Germany. They flew over from Germany to buy a Eurovan from me because they found it on the internet. And it was the right price. I mean, you can search all over the United States for Eurovans, and that's the thing. You do your search. You're obviously not going to call on the ones that are way more expensive than what you want to pay. Yeah. So we get a lot of more opportunities to do so with the way that we do our things, and we're not high pressure. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you a little pressure. We're going to make you feel maybe just a little uncomfortable. Yeah. But, that's not our goal. We don't want people to feel like, oh God, this guy is like, he won't stop. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to follow up with you, and I'm going to make sure that, everything, and that's after the sale as well. That's one of the things I think that stands apart from other dealerships is that I'm calling you on your birthday. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Remember that? Sure. No,
you called me, on my car birthday. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. On 1 year. I bought my car from Ben, so bias here a little bit, but I do think it is like the most, I've purchased 4 other cars from other people before you, and this is like the most happiest I've been with any of those transactions. It's just been the most honest, the most easiest, I would say, and it's really cool because on my 1 year of when I bought that car, Ben had called me and said, "Hey, how's your car doing?" Yeah. And so that means a lot to me as a customer. So
yeah, well, we want to make sure.
I've never had that before either.
We want to make sure that when people leave Auto Choice, they feel like they won. They feel really good about what they bought. And the next time they hear someone talking about finding a car, a friend, family, whoever, their first thought's going to be, hey, you should go to Auto Choice. Go talk to Ben. That's the goal. Yeah. Repeat referrals, and that's what you can do to make yourself stand apart from other places.
Yeah, for sure. Going back just a second with the German people buying the car and stuff, that's insane to me. I'm very shocked at that in a sense.
Well, okay, so it was like a Craigslist lead that I got. We list things on Craigslist. We list things on Marketplace. We all get kind of like a set. We round robin. We rotate through and get vehicles that we get to list in these places. Okay. So we split that up. And so I got a Craigslist lead from these folks from Germany, and at first, suspicious as hell. Yeah, you think this is Germany, and then I want to buy the truck, and
did they call or message?
We were just emailing. Okay. I did call. Mistake. Don't call international if you don't have to, because that is gonna cost you a good chunk of change. This is like $50 for a 10-minute call.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and I didn't even think about that. International rates, but whatever. Yeah. We did most of our communication through emails. So, okay. And so like at first, like I was saying, it was like really weird little like, is this real? Are these scammers? What's going on? Because typically, you know, yeah, I'll have my guy pick it up, and then you write him a check and whatever, and then you know it's just there's a pattern to the scams sometimes, and so this one kind of started out that way, where she was like, we have a friend in Massachusetts that would title the vehicle in his name, insure it in his name, but we're going to pay for it. So right there, I was like, whoa, this is weird. And so we just kept on moving forward and getting information. They kept on asking questions, and I've sent them videos. I use
so they were super serious, like as if anybody was like really inquiring about something.
And so I sent them, you know, I use an app called QuickPage, which don't tell any of the car dealers out there, but sorry. This QuickPage app allows me to make a 3 to 5 minute video, compress it, send it out, and they get to view it.
Okay.
And it also tracks who's watching it, when they're watching it, how long they're watching it for. Oh. So if I send out the video, I see they open it, I know, hook right there.
Yes.
They're looking at it. They're serious. And then I follow up with them after that, and then it turns out it's a really great tool for me as a guy that gets calls from all over the country, and out of the country. And so it just, pictures do a lot for everyone, but video does a million more things.
Oh, trust me, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying,
yeah,
Ben.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my language.
You can appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that's why we do that. We use that app, and all the salesmen have it, and we just send that out to folks, and that's really something that I think sets us apart from other car sales guys.
For sure. That's so interesting.
And a lot of dealerships too also don't let the guys market themselves.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
Like they just want them under their Facebook page or whatever. They don't really promote people to have their own, like we have our Auto Choice Facebook page, and then I have Ben Schnaible at Auto Choice Spearfish, my own page. So, and that just creates more content to share and move around and rise to the top, you know, and get in front of people's faces. So,
yeah, that's super cool, just the way you guys work, in my opinion. So, are there any other interesting stories, kind of like the German one, that you've experienced while selling cars at Auto Choice?
During this whole COVID thing, we rocked and rolled still through it. I was sending vehicles over to Aberdeen. I sent a 4Runner down to Colorado Springs. Wow. And we had drivers that were like, hey, they're closing down the state. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this car in there or whatever, None of that ever happened. Yeah. I did have one crazy story that was, I don't know, it's crazy to me. I had talked to a gentleman from Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Okay. You know where that's at? No. It's as far north in Idaho as you can get before you get to Canada. Yeah. And it's beautiful country up there. I lived in Coeur d'Alene for 8 years, and it's about 60, well, it might be 90 miles north of there. Anyway, talked to this guy on Good Friday. Okay. And we talked about this vehicle, which was kind of a special vehicle. It wasn't something that you could get anywhere, kind of, sort of. It was a manual 2017 Toyota Camry. Okay. So it was a manual. Not a lot of those out there. Yeah. So, and he let me know that, there's one in Florida that I was thinking about, and I'm like, well, I think we're closer than Florida. We can figure something out to, get you there or get it here or whatever. Yeah. So I tried to follow up with the gentleman. We didn't discuss numbers or anything. He saw the listing online, and we're kind of our listings online are competitive with the market. We have to be, otherwise people don't see it. Mm-hmm. So we didn't talk numbers. Tried to get a hold of him on Saturday because we were still working on Saturdays, and he didn't answer, or he sent me a text saying I'm busy in a meeting or something, and never talked to him. Mm-hmm. Well, Easter Sunday. Yeah. I was spending time with my family and whatnot. Pretty much put my phone on the side. I wasn't, he tried to call me a couple of times, and I saw that I missed a call from him. I was like, you know what? I'm not calling him today. It's Sunday. It's Easter with my family. I was taking Monday off from Easter Monday. I was taking that off that next day. And I figured, I was like, I'll call him on Monday out from home. Yeah. I get a call at 9:30 on Monday morning saying, hey, Ralph's here. And I'm like, Ralph from Idaho? And they're like, yeah, Ralph's here. He had rented a car one way and drove it from Idaho, which is probably about a 15 hour drive. Yeah. It's not, Montana is a big state. I drove across that a couple of times when I lived in Coeur d'Alene. And so I was like, really? He's there? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, shit, I'll be there in about 15 minutes, And so went up to the store and went out and took it for a test drive. And he was like, well, I don't know. He was trying to work me hard, and I'm like, listen, Ralph, we have the right price on this car. Do you know why? Because there's no other cars like this around. Yes, and we weren't trying to gouge out of the market. We weren't, and so we finally figured it out, because he was like, well, I guess I'll just take my one-way car back to Idaho. And I'm like, well, it's going to be a long drive back. Yeah. So anyway, he ended up buying the car, and we got him, we delivered his one-way rental down to the Enterprise rent-a-car drop-off. Oh. It was all good.
Heck yeah. Is that nearest one in Rapid then, or what?
No, we have one in Spearfish.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know.
It's up by Common Sense.
Oh, all right. Good to know. Huh. So it's hard to find newer manuals here in the States. Mm-hmm. It's where it's really hard to find automatics. In South America, in Central America. Yeah, I needed to rent. I've tried to rent. Rented a car 3 times in Central America, and every time it's just such a struggle to find a good automatic. And they're always like, why are you trying to get this automatic? And I'm just like, because I don't know how to do a shift.
You need to learn how to drive.
I'm gringo, okay?
You need to drive that manual.
Yeah, I know. I need to. Especially because I kind of want to with my Subaru, because it has the
paddle shifters.
The functional, yeah. So, but yeah, that's super interesting whenever I'd go down there. And I'm like, it's just such a pain to find a manual and drives me nuts. But
that's in any cars these days. Most of the manuals are a special order anymore on a new car.
Yeah, here.
In the States. And so it's like, it used to be where an automatic was a luxury item and you paid more for that automatic transmission. So it's kind of shifted.
Yeah.
So,
well, speaking of shifting, why don't we shift over to talking about Spread the Tunes. I wanted to say Run the Jewels for some reason. Do you know Run the Jewels?
Oh, yeah.
Hip hop group? Yeah. Spread the Tunes. Do you want to talk about maybe part of your involvement in what Spread the Tunes is and your involvement within that organization?
You kind of remind me of LP, so.
Oh. I don't know if I like that.
Well, because you're a white dude. And
yeah. No. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Spread the Tunes. It's our nonprofit organization I'm a part of. We've been around since 2000. What do I want to say? We Spread the Tunes is 2014? 2013? No, 2014. Somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. This is back when the fish hatchery was kind of under the gun with funding from, I don't know if it was state or national.
It was
whatever.
National, yeah.
So their funding was in jeopardy. And, being that we're from Spearfish and, we love the fish hatchery.
Yeah.
That park is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Our city park is one of the coolest ones. The only other coolest park I've ever been to like that was in Coeur d'Alene. Oh. So great park, and all the stuff that, the fish hatchery has to offer, for families and people from around the world, they always love to go see that place. And so we wanted to do something. We wanted to see what we could do. And being that we're all music lovers, there's 4 guys on the board, I guess. We got Jake Jackson, he's a musician with a local band, 6 Mile Road, really good bluegrass band. Those guys are awesome. And then we've got Andrew Cleaver. He's a lover of music of sorts. I mean, that guy I think he probably holds the record for the most Yonder Mountain string shows ever. He used to follow them around, and he's probably seen them 100 times. Easily. And then Zach Eichsenberger, of course, he's also a big music lover, and he likes to go and see shows. And I grew up involved with music as far as, I was always in choir and band, and I love shows. I go to music all the time. I love concerts. It's something that really pulls to my being, Music is, I don't know, if you don't have music, I don't know how you can live in this world,
For sure.
So we started this Spread the Tunes to help raise money for the fish hatchery. And so every summer we do a 6-week series from the end of June to the beginning of August. And it's a free show every Wednesday night. And, it's 8-year-olds to 80-year-olds. It doesn't matter. We get everybody in there because it's family fun music. Acoustic, there are some bands that kind of plug in a little bit, but as far as electric instruments go, but for the most part it's acoustic stuff. And we try to make sure that it's something that everybody can enjoy. Different acts, from local folks to regional to national acts. And it's been pretty funny to see some of the bands, because Andrew and Zach, they go out to all these shows. They go down to Denver. They see these things. They go to Blue Ox Festival out in Wisconsin, and they see these up and coming bands that aren't, they're side stage bands at these festivals, and then they end up, getting in contact with them, and then we book them for the series, and it seems like within 6 months of playing the Canyon Acoustic Series, they end up at Red Rocks.
Oh, wow.
We've had like Little Smokies from up there in Bozeman or Missoula, one of the two. We've had Lady Lou and the Bird Dogs.
Okay. That one I'm actually familiar with.
Yeah. It just seems like the bands that we get are all of a sudden they're blowing up.
Yeah.
So, and that's cool that we are able to capture those folks before they get to that level where we wouldn't be able to afford having those shows. And excuse me, that's one thing that helps with a nonprofit organization too, because we're all volunteers with that. We don't take any money. We might drink a couple beers or something, but that's about it.
For sure.
And so the bands are really gracious about what we can pay them for the nonprofit event. They're never ticketed. They're free shows. Well, I can't say that. The Canyon Acoustic it's a free show every time. We do other events around town at different places, different venues for different beneficiaries throughout the year as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's, Artemis House or the Food Pantry or the Humane Society or Spearfish Education Foundation, different things like that. And, we'll ticket some of those events, and, depends on the venue, I suppose. Sometimes we have them at the back porch. Sometimes we have them out at the brewery. Sometimes we have them in the Indian Springs there across the park. We've done that a couple of times. So
super cool.
Yeah. And it's just fun. We find bands that we like and we bring them in town, and it's basically a good excuse to have a party.
Yeah.
That's
true.
And give away money at the same time. So that's part about it.
Yeah, it's always for a good cause and stuff.
Yeah, it's always for something that, who do we give money to this time?
Yeah, for sure. And then you guys also played a part of the new event series. I don't know if that's the correct terminology for it, that happened this year for Spearfish, which is like the Chinook Days.
Chinook Days,
yeah. And you guys helped with some of that. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we had a blast with that. That was pretty cool. The first annual Chinook Days to celebrate the world record that Spearfish holds with the greatest temperature change in the least amount of time. And that's a pretty crazy phenomenon to have happen. Not only does our creek freeze from the bottom up, we have that world record.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we're like, there's one other creek or river in the world that does that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And that's in Russia.
Oh.
So.
Huh.
It's probably like right on the opposite side of the world from us. I don't know.
That would be interesting to know.
Right? Really? Yeah. Like a little time continuum.
Somebody bring a globe here real quick.
But yeah, Chinook Days, it was just a celebration. Small towns in South Dakota have that kind of deal where they celebrate something that's a part of their community. And so whether it's Chislick Festival over on East Riverside, that's kind of their thing that they started doing a couple years ago.
Pierce got I don't even know what that.
Whatever it is, Days of 76 up in Deadwood.
Yeah,
They've got the 4th of July parade celebration, week-long deals in Belfouche.
Rodeo.
Rodeo and all that.
For sure,
and a lot of that. So why not have something to kind of bring? I don't know. I felt like it was something that we could like. It'd be a movie or something, where all the towns going around doing their thing and everybody's like, hey, shopping at the shops and just kind of a holiday spirit of sorts.
Yeah.
Because we did it during that time when that actually happened, which is in January. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of after the holidays, you go through Halloween, you go through Thanksgiving, you go through Christmas and New Year's, and then
nothing till
everybody gets stuck in their house.
Yeah.
Because we live in South Dakota. Why not? Why not try to do something to get outside and get out and kind of get out of the winter doldrums? You know?
For sure.
And so there was some ice carving events that were down at around the Matthews Opera House. They had a show there for one of the nights. We had the burning of the fish up there at the bonfire and whatnot up on the old Passion Play area up there. And when's the last time Spearfish had a bonfire? What a great event. Why wouldn't you want to have a bonfire to go to and sit around? There was a live band.
Especially in pretty much the middle of winter.
And it was a decent night, it wasn't too bad. The Spearfish Brewery Association had their beers to give away for free, to a couple of the dudes brewed up their own stuff and it was a free event again. And that was pretty cool. And then we ended up having at the culmination of everything. So there's these events that went through the week, and then on Saturday we did kind of a bike rodeo or a winter rodeo of sorts. There was like they hauled some snow in from wherever it was to kind of make a little path or a course in the park there, right around the pavilion. Yeah, and so it was kind of a cool thing. They did some keg pulls with bikes and fat bikes and all that, and then in the inside of the pavilion we had some vendors and we did a little bit of a miniature beer fest. We got the local breweries here in town were involved. We had Lost Cabin from out in Rapid. We had Minor Brewery, I believe. We had Spearfish, Crow Peak, and Sawyer. They all made a Chinook beer. They used Chinook hops to kind of tie into
Chinook hops.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, the hops for making beer.
Well, I knew that, but what is Chinook, specifically Chinook hops?
I don't know exactly.
Okay, what is a Chinook? I guess I should start there.
Well, Chinook is Indian for snow eater.
Okay.
Because that Chinook wind is a warm wind that comes in. That's why we called it Chinook days, because that's what happened in the...
Yeah, that's what caused the temperature change.
Yep. It was minus 4 degrees at 7:30 in the morning, and by 7:32 it was 49.
Okay.
Because the Chinook wind blew in, kind of swirled around in our bowl of a town. We're at the bottom of a little crown. Yeah, the crown jewels, and so
so Chinook hop is essentially just
Chinook. It's a common hop that's used in beer for the fermenting and whatnot. To give the flavors and things like that.
Huh.
So it's
So I'm not familiar with beer. I do know that like IPAs and stuff are made with like the hops and stuff like that.
Yep.
But very interesting.
Yeah.
Spearfish loves its craft beer too, so that's like a perfect way to kind of
close. That's what we thought. So
yeah.
We had a live music at that event as well. We brought a band in from Minneapolis. So it was fun. It was a blast. And it got people out. I mean, there was a ton of people there at it, so
it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I only got to go to the burning of the bee, sadly, the burning of the fish.
That's Belfouche.
Yeah,
burning the bee.
But no,
we're gonna go to the chili feed afterwards, guys.
Holy cow! I'm not familiar, but all right. Anyways, that like totally got me off guard there, but. No, I didn't get to go to most of those. I only got to go to that first day because then I was away. I can't remember where I was. I think I had to leave the country around that time. I cannot remember, but still seemed like a cool event. I love the artwork. I can't remember who did that, but shout out to
Mikey Knutson did the artwork for the poster art.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Local artist. His dad was the head of the art department up at BH for a long time, Jim Knutson. And so Mikey is now down in Kansas, I think Garden City. I want to say Garden City, but I don't know if that's true or not. But he's at a college there where he is the head of the art department.
Yeah, there.
So I think it was John Williams, or maybe, I think it was John, reached out to him, said, hey, kind of come up with a cool looking art poster for the event, and it came out really cool. I like it.
I do too.
Cool fish with a crown on it, and it was just
very fitting.
Yeah,
for Spearfish.
Looked like a print of sorts, like a stamp art, wood carving of sorts. So it's kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, of course, I try to avoid the old terms, or rather, pandemic, COVID, etc. But just to keep the podcast timeless, hopefully. But I would like to touch a little bit on maybe any upcoming events that two things. One, upcoming events that you guys had planned that might not be happening, such as like we talked about the Canyon Acoustic Series. Yeah. And then I don't know, do you guys have it? Oh my gosh, I need to stop doing that. I'm so sorry. Do you guys have any plans for, a lot of people are still planning on September or October, November being like, okay, we're safe, so.
We're kind of throwing that around, as of this morning, we put out a statement on Facebook, we're the media of choice. Everybody reads Facebook anyway.
Yeah.
We are, I want to say postponing, but it said that we have canceled. And, it was a lot of consideration, a lot of thought went into it to decide whether or not we were going to pursue and keep it going for this summer.
The Canyon Acoustic
Series. The Canyon Acoustic Series down at the park, yeah. We all felt that it was prudent for us to take the interest of our sponsors, for one, being that, right now, everybody's kind of hurting with small businesses. The economy, we all know, is struggling.
Yes.
Correct. And so we felt that, it wasn't really fair to ask of them to put forth money that they really probably don't have to put towards a lot of events and things like that this year. We have a lot of great businesses and community sponsorships that we appreciate, and they're year in and year out. There's no problems with it, but we just, with the whole thing, we were trying to decide, how are we going to navigate vendors, those kinds of things, what kind of precautions are we going to have to provide? What kind of liabilities would we have as far as throwing events together like that and trying to be, you've been to a concert before or something like that, a gathering of whatnots.
Yes.
And it's hard for people to not socialize from 6 feet away when
I go to punk shows.
Yeah, I like it.
That's my thing. Is punk. We don't really distance at all. It's very touchy feely. I'm pushing you and throwing you around. You come out
with more sweat that isn't yours than you do.
For sure.
I like that. I appreciate that. I'm an old school punk rocker from back in the day myself. So
we'll have to talk a little bit more about that, like after the podcast.
Yeah. Super bummed Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels show got
we're gonna be in Sioux Falls. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I know. I had 5 different concert tickets, I think, for Denver in both April and May, and none of that is happening. And then I had tickets for Deftones in September. Deftones, Gojira, and Poppy were supposed to play, and they just postponed that. And I'm like, that's in September. Don't do that to me.
Well, it's hard to say. From day to day, it'll be interesting to see how even the next 30 days rolls out with everything opening up. Who knows? I have a lot of friends that work up in Deadwood, and that's kind of a hot spot in the country right now as far as where people are traveling to, because they have got 12 of the 17 casinos that are open in the country are in Deadwood. Yeah. So they're getting people from all over the place, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, for sure. And so we just getting back to the Canon Kissick series, we just wanted to make sure that, we don't have to do it. It's not something that we are going to lose money on because of the support that we get from the community. And, for the most part, the everything is paid for through those sponsorships. And then the money that we make is from beer sales and donations from folks, but and then that money we just give to the fish hatchery. We've been able to raise more than almost $40,000 to give to the fish hatchery over the years. And so it's been pretty cool. And we've been spearheading a bandshell project as well.
I was about to bring that up, actually.
We've got that bandshell project that we're kind of we're hoping that we've raised about $50,000 for that to take to the city and say, hey, we would like to get this on as soon as possible to the city budget to do this. We're a private organization, or we're not,
but it's on the city. So what you're talking about is the basically the dome with the stage that is within the city park, kind of next to the pavilion. Yeah. And so the bandshell project is we want to renovate it. We want to actually, tear it down. We've got the blessings from the last family member that it was dedicated to, and we want to update. That was built back in the 60s, I want to say. And it's been there for a while. Yeah. And so it's, we want to make sure that we
put it in a position to where we can utilize the park a little bit more, because the way it sits right now, it kind of cuts off the other side. And the reason why they did build it that way is back in the day, they didn't want competition from that bandshell with the passion play.
Really?
So that's why it faces the way it does.
Oh.
They didn't want to have anything competing with that, and because that was 5 nights a week, in the summertime.
Okay,
back in the day.
Interesting.
So we'd like to turn it to make it user friendly for the
Bands.
events, the bands. Load in, load out. There would be something that we've got a mock up of a design for the bandshell that we'd like to see, with backdoor access to the parking lot there that's right across from the pavilion, or right with the pavilion, I should say. And then make it ADA compliant. If you're someone that has a disability or needs assistance to get upstairs and things like that, you can't get on that stage if you don't have the assistance.
That's true.
That's needed. So we want to make sure that it's that easy. We want to kind of hopefully have some input on design as far as plug and play. Like any organization can go down there and perhaps have something that of a PA system that's really easily plugged into what's in the infrastructure of the building or the bandshell itself, to make it, community
accessible,
theater. Community theater could go down there and put some on Tuesday nights during the summer.
Yeah.
Or, even when we do the festival in the park,
because they don't even use that stage during the festival park.
Exactly.
And that's what I was getting at too, is like, I've always thought that stage, I mean, it's a fine stage, it's of course improvements. You can improve any stage, but the worst thing about that stage is the placement and the direction of it. Yep. So the fact that the biggest event in Spearfish, is that a big statement? Art in the Park?
I would say that's one of our larger.
Because I feel like that brings in a lot of people from like Rapid and stuff like that.
Everywhere.
But the fact that they don't even use that stage, they bring in a separate stage for it, I think that says a lot about it. So that's such a cool project. So.
Right. Yeah. And if it's moved and turned a little bit, you got so much access to the park. You don't close off the middle part of the main part of the park. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Semi part of the middle. So, I remember back in the day when I was a kid, Kills Alive used to be in Spearfish.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
It started out, KSLT, the Christian radio station in the area, started in Spearfish. And, Mark Plummer brought Hills Alive here, and that was where it was. And I don't know if the basketball courts were there at that time, but that's where the stage was set up. So they had the whole park to push thousands of people into, and it usually was full. It was crazy.
I didn't
remember that was like the biggest event I ever went to as a kid, a little 10-year-old kid, 8-year-old kid. And it's like, man, there's a lot of people here. They love Jesus too. and that's cool. But so with turning this stage, we can recapture that kind of utilization of the whole park.
Yeah.
We can be able to get people in there. And, our event, those Canyon Acoustic Series, they pull in on average 500 to 600 people a night, and that's getting pretty cozy. So.
I mean, it's nice to even just go there and, like, even if you're not sitting down on those bleachers, like, just being 30, 40 feet away from that stage and eating that Black Hills Oven pizza or whatever is such a good feeling in the middle of the week at 7 p.m. at night.
Sitting in the cool grass, you got off work, you could take your socks and shoes off and put your toes in the creek or whatever,
But for anybody that wants to do that or would like to do that, it sounds nice.
You got funky toes?
I just have I don't know, I have eczema, and for some reason I just don't I'm very sensitive everywhere, so I don't ever take off my socks except to shower. Don't like swimming either. And I think it's because I got to take off my socks. Right. It's got real weird. That's right.
You should get some of them aqua socks that they have.
Aqua socks.
Yeah.
All right. I'll look into that. I'll write this down.
Get you out swimming some more. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's such a great feeling to be able to sit down in the grass.
Yeah.
To be able to throw your blanket down. To let your kids go run around in the park and not worry about them, bless the Friday nights and their gig and what they do. Those guys are great. They draw a big crowd. There's a lot of people that come around. There's a lot of vendors that are accessible there. But you're on the hot concrete that's been sitting there in the sun all day, and you got to bring your own chairs, and you got to bring, people are running around.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a different environment, and so the way you go into that sort of event and the feeling of that event is so much different. And I think that's why it's on a Friday night too.
Sure.
Versus the Canyon Acoustic Series being on that Wednesday, where it's like the middle of the week. It's like that chill, like, right? But like, you don't go to downtown Friday nights to be like, oh, I'm gonna chill out and like meditate. You can meditate to a lot of the artists probably that are playing at the Canyon Acoustic Series. So
for sure,
a little bit of a different dynamic for sure. But I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful to kind of have both. Or rather than just like one or the other. It just really adds more. And of course, having that new stage bandshell would only create more events and make that one even bigger.
And that, that's another thing. We have like the Dakota 5.0, which is another thing that I help volunteer for every year. I help out on the course. It's pretty fun. It's actually a blast. I get to go out on course and drink beer and feel stoke all day to dudes that are riding this 50-mile bike race in the Black Hills, just killing themselves. I've had to bring some people back from the brink of no return, if you will.
That's crazy.
I've had to take people down to the hospital because they went over the handlebars and messed up a wrist or something, nothing major.
Okay, fair. But it's just like, dang, I didn't realize it was that intense.
Yeah, well, mountain biking can get a little, you go over the handlebars, you clip a pedal or something, and you go to grab yourself, and it's either a collarbone or a wrist injury that usually happens. So that's about the most major thing about it. But my friend Perry Jewett, I've known him for more than, I think, is one of my oldest friends that I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And he's been putting that on for 20 years now.
Oh,
and
dang.
this will be year 20. And I've been a part of it since 2009, since I moved away for a bit, so I didn't live here. But when I did start in 2009, we moved to Sheridan back in 2011, and I'd come back every year to help do that.
Oh, wow.
Just because I love the event so much, and it's such a fun time. A lot of my friends are involved with it. So, when he does that, he has that event, that's 700 people that sign up to do the race. So the support for the folks that come for that event, you're bringing ton of people into town. You're talking about 1 to maybe, we'll say 2 average other people for every one of those racers.
Yeah.
Just as, coming in, it's a Labor Day weekend event. It's, we put the labor back in Labor Day, he says.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so he, it gets super crowded in that event when they're using the bandshell there, and it would be nice to be able to open up the park and make it more comfortable for people so they don't step on each other. And
right.
So
for sure.
Yeah, we want everybody to be able to use the bandshell and more people to use the bandshell, more events, It's the more the better. We like to feel the stoke on that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys, everything you guys put on is always worth going to. It's always a good time, and anything I've gone to anyways, I've always had a good time for
Excellent.
For not run the jewels, for spread the tunes. It's just like the 3 words. I don't know. Same amount of syllables, maybe 2. I don't know. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, Ben.
Yeah, man.
What can you plug? Where can people find you? Where do you want people to find you?
You can find me at Auto Choice, obviously. I'm there. You can find me at Ben Schnaible at Auto Choice Spearfish on Facebook. If I'm always out and about at other events, whether if we're doing a Spread the Tunes event, I'm at the door, shaking babies, holding hands, things like that,
Shaking babies, always, holding hands, all right.
Always, just if you need a car or if you want to hang out and I don't know, Auto Choice is where I'm at.
If you want to hang out with Ben, just show up.
Just come on out. We'll hang out.
He'll literally be helping a customer. He's about to go on this test drive and you're like, hey man, can I just hang out? And then all of a sudden there's just some random person in the back of the test drive with Ben.
This is Destin, is my buddy. We're going to go. He's just kidding. Don't worry about him. He'll be quiet. Well, we'll just go on and test drive real quick.
Yeah, it won't be awkward at all. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we leave? Or
well, I guess, everybody just needs to take care of everybody. This time right now that we're in, it's a weirdest thing I've ever been a part of in my life, and a lot of most people, for that matter. It's going to take some adjustments, and for folks to really take an opportunity to see this challenge in a different light and how we can overcome our differences. It just seems like everything's been culminating to this, and we really need to just grab each other and take care of each other. Be respectful.
Yeah.
If someone feels uncomfortable about having to wear a mask, respect that.
Yeah.
That's okay. Don't be around them if you don't want to. And if there is someone that, needs help them. There's a lot of people struggling right now. So, one of my philosophies is dance, grow things, and don't be a dick.
Dance, grow things, and don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Ben Schnaible.
It's a dudism.
Dudism.
Yeah, I'm actually a Dudist priest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Didn't know.
Certificate from the what is it, the Tao of Dude or
is
something?
Is this a reference?
The Big Lebowski. I'm a Dudist priest, so I'm a Dudist priest. I have the certificate that I don't know if it's I could be ordained as marry someone, but it's
interesting.
Just a
good thing to know.
Pretty much, I'm easygoing kind of guy. I don't like to have people in a bad mood. I like to make people feel comfortable and take care of each other.
For sure. Well, once you're able to, or once you start marrying people, we'll have you back on the podcast as a whole separate episode where you're just talking about you as a wedding vendor and stuff.
I like it.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ben.
You're welcome, Destiny.